Welcome back to our channel, where we break down the vital financial insights you need.
Together, we'll distill complex analysis into key takeaways, perfect for busy investors.
Today, we're diving into expert predictions about markets crashing ahead of Nvidia earnings and much more.
Let's start with insights from Danielle DiMartino Booth. She's got bold thoughts on where the economy is heading.
Stay tuned, because up next, we'll reveal the implications for Bitcoin prices and their future in asset management.
And remember, this is all for educational purposes. Always do your own research before investing.
The Fed's recent comments have got everyone talking.
You could say that. Powell's language about inflation being a bumpy path certainly raised eyebrows.
Exactly. A lot is at stake as we navigate these economic waters.
Let's unpack Danielle's insights on these critical developments.
What's Danielle's core message here?
She believes the Fed's grip on the economy is loosening, creating uncertainty.
It's a classic case of conflicting economic signals at play.
Absolutely, and the market's response is anything but predictable.
With inflation at 2%, how is the market reacting?
Danielle notes that Powell's comments triggered volatility in the stock market.
Does it seem like the Fed is acting too cautiously?
For sure. Many believe they might have missed the right timing for cuts.
What about the labor market? Danielle's insights seem intriguing.
Right? With store closures, the labor market doesn't reflect prior conditions.
And that disconnect is significant for understanding overall economic health.
Indeed, retail sales aren't aligning with bullish reports from the Fed.
The latest economic surprise index is causing quite a stir.
Exactly. Danielle emphasizes there's a big gap between data and reality.
This could mean the Fed must reevaluate its strategies.
For sure, data trends are not matching ground-level realities.
What does Danielle predict for the Fed moving forward?
She suggests adjustments are essential in response to market dynamics.
And we can certainly expect more volatility ahead.
Absolutely, the path is anything but smooth.
So, what's our main takeaway from this discussion?
Keep an eye on inflation trends and Fed policies. It's more crucial than ever.
And brace for potential surprises in the financial realm.
Definitely, understanding these insights is vital.
But wait, there's more. Up next, we explore insights from Jeff Snyder on the most important global indicator is skyrocketing. The rise of the US dollar is not just a number, it signals critical global shifts.
Jeff Snyder unveils why this surge is more than meets the eye.
What are the indicators we should really be watching?
India's rupee and South Korea's won are at the heart of this discussion.
What's the core message Jeff conveys about the US dollar?
He suggests that rising dollar values forecast turbulent times ahead.
And that's tied to the rupee and won, correct?
Exactly. Both face sharp depreciation against the dollar.
The dollar index has soared. Where does it go from here?
Historically, such rises precede tough economic times.
So this isn't just random fluctuation.
Not at all. There's a pattern that we should heed.
What's happening with the Indian rupee recently?
It's falling sharply, indicating broader economic issues.
And the South Korean won?
It faces similar pressures, primarily linked to China's economy.
What should we anticipate for the global economy moving forward?
Snyder warns of rising risk premiums and potential instability.
So it's about being vigilant as investors.
Absolutely. Keeping an eye on these signals is crucial.
So what's the takeaway for investors?
Observing these trends is essential for strategy.
Time to reassess our portfolios then.
Right on point. Adaptive strategy is key.
If you appreciate these insights, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Your support helps us keep delivering valuable financial analysis.
What's the impact of the skyrocketing national debt?
Mark Moss argues it's a catalyst for potential asset price surges.
What surprising predictions does he have for Bitcoin?
Let's find out.
What does Mark see in the context of this massive debt?
He indicates we're not looking at a crash, but perhaps an explosive new market phase.
Interesting. So Bitcoin plays a central role here.
Absolutely, as he argues, Bitcoin is witnessing not just a price rise, but a revolution.
The national debt just hit a staggering number.
It's a major discussion point, reflecting unprecedented fiscal policies.
How does this impact investor sentiment?
It may shift it towards alternative assets, moving away from traditional investments.
Mark mentions Bitcoin's potential growth, up to 1 million.
Yes, supported by growing institutional interest and government adoption.
What needs to happen for this to materialize?
A broader acceptance among governments could fuel its rise significantly.
How does gold factor into this discussion?
Mark suggests that gold could be reevaluated, potentially pairing well with Bitcoin.
Could this lead to nations competing for which asset to adopt?
Certainly. The pressure is mounting as more countries eye Bitcoin.
What's the expected timeline for Bitcoin to hit the million mark?
Mark predicts a potential surge, especially with institutional adoption ramping up.
That's substantial. Are there triggers we should watch for?
Definitely, the government's strategic choices will be key.
To conclude, are we ready for Bitcoin to take center stage?
It's likely, but it requires careful watching of broader market indicators.
Up next, we explore more with Sheila Bair.
Exactly. Stay tuned for our next installment featuring insights from Sheila Bair.
The U.S. national debt is nearing $36 trillion. What does this mean for our economy?
Former FDIC Chair Sheila Bair believes this could set the stage for another financial crisis.
With her extensive background, she's got serious insights to share.
Let's dive into her analysis on inflation and its economic implications.
What is Sheila's main concern regarding the national debt?
She believes that if investor confidence wanes, we could see a spike in borrowing costs and a potential crisis.
That sounds alarming. How is inflation tied into this?
Bair warns that inflation is a significant threat, hindered only by government responses.
The debt levels are staggering. What are the implications for everyday Americans?
Bair explains that high debt limits the government's ability to fund essential services.
So, increased borrowing means higher costs for everyone.
Exactly. It could lead to severe consequences for economic growth.
In terms of inflation, what's Sheila's perspective on recent Federal Reserve actions?
She questions the effectiveness of low interest rates for economic recovery.
Interesting. So she supports maintaining higher rates?
Yes, higher rates could foster better capital allocation.
What does Sheila foresee if this trend continues?
She warns that growing debt may lead to investors losing confidence in government bonds.
So the future looks precarious.
Indeed, very uncertain times ahead.
What's the final takeaway from Sheila's insights?
We need to prioritize fiscal responsibility to ensure long-term stability.
Well said. And speaking of the future, what's next on our agenda? But wait, up next, we have Matt's take on markets crashing ahead of Nvidia earnings. What's happening with the pullback we've all been waiting for?
Matt indicates it's a classic market correction that could set the stage for a potential rebound.
Interesting. What does he suggest could happen with Nvidia's upcoming earnings?
Let's break down the key charts and indicators to find out.
What's the core message Matt is conveying?
He believes that as long as we stay above critical support levels, the market can resolve upwards.
So, are we looking at buying opportunities then?
Precisely. This pullback could be a chance for strategic long positions.
Matt highlights that the S&P 500 is down, but is it something to worry about?
No, he sees it as part of regular market fluctuations.
How does he view Nvidia's earnings in relation to this?
Nvidia's earnings report could be pivotal in dictating market direction.
What do the market internals reveal?
They're mixed, hinting at concentrated selling, but not a broad breakdown.
Is the semiconductor sector rallying?
No, it's facing pressure, especially with Nvidia's performance looming.
So what are Matt's predictions moving forward?
He anticipates a bullish rebound if support at previous highs holds.
And how could Nvidia's earnings affect this?
They could create significant volatility, both upwards and downwards.
What's our takeaway from Matt's analysis?
Stay vigilant. Key resistance levels could lead to new buying opportunities.
Anything specific to watch for?
Absolutely. Nvidia's earnings could change everything.
But wait, there's more on the horizon. Stay tuned for insights from Lance Roberts as we explore what's next for the Nasdaq after this pullback. Lance Roberts is back to decipher the election's impact on our economy.
Absolutely, Adam. The shifts we're seeing could redefine our financial strategies for years.
What should investors be bracing for as we head into the new year?
Let's uncover those insights.
What are the main themes we're looking at today?
Investors need to reassess their portfolios as we face economic headwinds.
Could we see substantial changes for small and mid-cap investments?
Definitely. They'll be influenced heavily by new administration policies.
What should every investor do before the year wraps?
Focus on tax loss harvesting. It can save you money.
It's amazing how many miss this step.
Exactly. A checklist simplifies the process.
Was the election rally just a brief spark?
Indeed, we saw a lot of excitement afterward, but it quickly fizzled.
What's your outlook for the holiday trading period?
Expect volatility. Traders are thin as holidays approach.
What's the crystal ball say for the next few months?
I foresee increased volatility leading into year-end.
Interesting. Rising uncertainty may impact decisions significantly.
Absolutely, rethinking strategies is essential.
Bottom line, what should our viewers take away?
Preparation and adaptation are crucial for navigating these turbulent times.
Wise words as always. What an insightful lineup of experts we had today.
Indeed, each guest brought unique perspectives on how the market is shifting, especially around national debt.
Absolutely. I was struck by how they all agree on adapting strategies. That's a big takeaway.
And yet, the differing views on how rapidly those shifts will impact us were fascinating. It really keeps you on your toes.
Especially with Sheila Bair warning us about the debt crisis. It's both alarming and compelling.
Definitely a wake-up call. And Mark Moss's prediction of a Bitcoin surge adds an interesting twist.
If viewers found value in today's insights, they should give us a thumbs up and subscribe.
Your support is essential for us to continue bringing these transformative discussions straight to you.
Remember to explore our other videos for more financial insights. Thanks for being part of the community.